Good evening and welcome back. Magic can be an elusive thing. It can be a difficult thing to master, and sometimes it fails miserably despite your best efforts. In order for you to practice magic effectively, to really explore its mysteries, you have to have the proper tools. Now, I'm not talking about an athame or a pentacle or a wand or anything like that. Magic can be practiced without physical tools. Instead, what I'm talking about are the things that need to line up in order for you to work magic effectively. So these proper tools, there are 3 of them. The first is timing for your magic. The second is having a space to practice your magic. And the third is having a purpose for your magic. We will talk about having a space and purpose for your magic in videos next week and the week after. But for right now, I want to talk about timing. Timing magic has 2 aspects. The first regards turning the practice of magic into a habit. Something only becomes a habit if it is done regularly. Magic should be practiced regularly, preferably at the same time each day or at the same time each week, or something that is scheduled, preferably with no missed days. So when you're thinking about timing your magic, you do want to think about what works for you. So if you're not going to be able to do it at 7 a.m. every day, don't even start. Pick a time and date that works for you with your schedule. We're all busy people. Everyone has a schedule that works for them, and it won't be the same as somebody else's. For some, this will be the best times when they first get up. For others, it might be when they get home from work or school. Others might choose to perform their spells and rituals in the moments right before bed. But you just need to find something that works for you. A little word of caution about practicing right before bed. For some people, working magic or practicing magic right before bed can leave them a little bit jazzed up, a little bit energized. So if that is the case for you, you might want to time your magic so that you're not doing it right before bed. Okay? You just want to make sure you can still sleep. Sleep is important. Timing also has another important influence in the practice of magic. Certain spells and rituals will be affected by the time of day, the day of the week, or the phase of the moon, or the time of year. Certain things work best at certain times. So that is an aspect of timing that you do want to take into account. So if you are trying to cast a spell and the recommendation is to cast it at the full moon and you cast it at the new moon, you might not get the results you want. Because correspondences matter. The timing does matter. So that is something else to take into consideration. If it's a full moon spell, don't try to cast it at the new moon. Cast it on the full moon. You'll have better results. All right, so just something to consider. Those types of magic should be carefully scheduled, and I would schedule them in advance. Put them in your phone calendar or on your planner or whatever so that you don't lose track, so that you work the magic you want to work when you want to work it. That will maximize its effectiveness. So make liberal use of calendars if you're going to practice magic regularly. It really does help. Some examples of timing. Magic to gain something, for example, is best performed during the waxing moon. Why? So the waxing moon is when the moon is getting bigger. When it's going from new to full, it is waxing. It's getting larger. So if you want to gain something, you want to cast it during that waxing cycle because it's gaining something, therefore you will gain something. If you are casting a spell to lose something, the classic example is a weight loss spell, you want to do that during the waning moon, when the moon is getting smaller. So as the moon loses, so will you. So that's just one very simple example of timing. So if you want to cast a certain type of spell, you might want to do it during a certain type of moon or during a certain day of the week, or there's lots of different correspondences, and we'll talk about correspondences again in a future video. I'm trying not to make videos that are too long because we know that people don't have the attention span. None of us do anymore. None of us have a good attention span. So we're trying to make shorter videos, so I'm not going to talk in depth about that today, but I will talk more about the moon cycles and correspondences in future videos to help make sense of them. But for right now, probably what you want to do is just take into account the cycles of the moon, the days of the week, and your own schedule. Your own schedule does matter. You can't always carve out time because we live in a busy world. We're always very busy these days. All of us are. All right, very few people can just sit around and be like, okay, well, I guess I'll do it on this day because I have nothing better to do. Most of us do have a lot on our plates, so your own personal schedule is what matters more than pretty much anything. So work with your own schedule if you can, and then work around the phases of the moon and the days of the week and the times of the year, because that will maximize the effectiveness of your magic. That is going to be about it for us today. No, I'm not doing more tarot videos yet, other than the weekly tarot reading, which will come out a few hours after this video. I'm not doing them because I did so many tarot videos in such a short amount of time that I just don't want to do another tarot video right now. I will return to tarot videos, but right now we're just talking about magic in general, and at some point I am going to start talking about astrology in general. But until then, thanks for joining us today. Thanks for tuning in. Blessed be.